And I'm gonna start with a poll real quick, just to kind of gauge the information that you're looking for. And now I'm going to turn it over to the UC Center Sacramento for them to present on their program. Thank you so much for joining us today.
All right, well, thank you so much, LaSharon, for that intro. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our session. We're really excited to share more information about the UC Center Sacramento program. My name is Sua. I am one of 2 advisors for the program, and I'm here with my colleague, Kat, and I'll have her introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kat Ampal-Mathai, and I'm also one of the other advisor outreach and program coordinators for UC Center Sacramento.
So we're just going to go ahead and jump into our presentation. Feel free to ask questions during the presentation, but we'll also have some time at the end for you to ask questions as well.
So we'll kind of delve into kind of how our program will look for the near future. As of right now, we've been running our program virtually due to the pandemic. But as of spring quarter and summer, we don't know how it's going to look like. And so we're just following the guidelines of the public officials and UC Office of the President and the Governor's Office in terms of whether or not we'll be in person or virtual or hybrid. And if you have any questions about that, you can email us. But if you do apply for the program, we'll give updates too as well concerning that.
So who are we? So we prepare UC undergraduate students for careers. We are a UC-wide academic and internship program, and we'll go over the different components of our program in the next few slides. But our program is actually open to all majors, although we do have a focus on policy and public policy and California politics. You do not have to have a background in policy or politics to be a part of the program. And so when students join the program, they are enrolled in courses. They're enrolled in our UCCS courses. These are upper division courses taught by UC faculty, and they automatically transfer back to your home campus. We do recommend that students work closely with their advisors, so their major, minor, or college advisors, to see how our courses can fulfill their requirements for graduation. In addition to the classes that you'll be required to take, you will be referred to one of our internships. We have a process called Match Referral, where you are matched with one of our internship hosts based on what your interests and your professional goals are, and then you are referred to them. And then students will secure an internship before the program starts, and while they're in the program, they are expected to intern at least 20 hours per week for that term. In addition to the classes and the internship piece, students also participate in professional development workshops and activities during their time at UCCS. And so we'll definitely provide opportunities and the space and activities for you to grow professionally and to network. And we find that that's a very important piece of a component of our program. And so we'll provide those opportunities. And so as you can see, it is a full course load. You're working 20 hours a week. You're doing a lot of professional development activities. So that makes you a full-time student while you're in the program, and that will allow you to remain financial aid eligible if you are a financial aid recipient.
So now we're going to talk about our undergraduate program. So there are 4 components to our undergraduate program with UC Center Sacramento. And to note, you have to do all 4 of these things to be part of the program. I know sometimes students want to choose certain parts of the program, Unfortunately for our program, you have to do all 4 things. So we have the course curriculum and research component. We have our knowledge sharing curriculum, which is our Wednesday speaker series. We have the extended curriculum piece. And then we also have the internship piece. And we'll delve more into detail as the presentation goes on, what all these components are.
So first off, we're going to talk about our course curriculum. So as I mentioned earlier, students are expected to take courses during their time with UCCS. And so quarter students will enroll in 15 to 17 quarter units, while semester students, so if you're from a semester school, Merced or Berkeley, you will enroll in 21 quarter units so that when that transfers back to your home campus, you'll earn 14 semester units. And then during the summer, since we operate every quarter or every semester, including summer, during the summer, students are enrolled in 13 to 15 quarter units. Again, maintaining that full-time student status. And so we've listed some of our classes here. So I'll just go ahead and start from the top and go down. I won't talk too much about the classes, just want to give you guys an intro to what our classes are. So they're all upper division political science courses. So the Pol 108 is our special topic course in public policy, and it's a 4-unit course, letter graded. It is offered during the fall quarter or fall semester, winter quarter, and then spring quarter. Actually winter quarter and spring semester and then spring quarter. And so typically during the fall, we do offer a health policy course. This upcoming winter quarter or spring semester, we will be offering our very first environmental policy class. So we're really excited about that. And then every spring quarter, we offer an education policy course. This course is taken in lieu of the Political Science 195. And as you can see, the 195 is our California Politics and Policy Seminar for 4 units. And so students have the option of taking either the 108, which is the topic specific class, or the 195, which is the California Politics and Policy. Unfortunately, our special topic courses are not offered during the summer. The Political Science 192A, that's your internship. So you will receive 5 units, pass no pass, for completing your internship, which is that 20 hours per week that you're required to do. Political Science 193 is our internship and research class. That is a 2-unit letter graded class, and it's actually optional during the summer. I already mentioned the 195, so I'm going to skip over that and talk about our 196E class. This is our research design and methods class. And so as Kat mentioned in the previous slide, part of one component of our program is policy research. And so you'll be taking this class to learn more about policy research, and then you will design your own research. And Kat will talk a little bit more about that. And then our 198 class is an optional class for quarter students. It's required for semester students, but it's a 2-unit pass no pass class that's designed to be more of a skill building class. And so that's part of our course curriculum.
So like Sue was talking about earlier, that research course that you'll be taking, you'll be doing a research project. And so this course is designed to teach you all about public policy research and provide marketable research skills. And so with this course, your faculty will guide you step by step. You'll learn how to analyze data, collect data, figure out what information works for your particular research topic. I forgot to mention, you get to choose your own research topic too as well, but basically they will guide you through step by step with your research, and then you will compile and create a research paper. And it's typically 20 to 25 pages. And then you'll also do a poster project too as well, and present that poster project to the policy community in and around Sacramento. And we call this time when you are doing that presentation for your poster project, we call it our Undergraduate Research Showcase. And it's a really exciting time because it's almost like the graduation for our students, but we also get to see what you all have done throughout the quarter with us in terms of your research projects, and it's very exciting. Typically, if it's in the center, if it's in person, it's a big event. And then we have been doing it virtually too as well, and we'll kind of show you some examples of how it's been done virtually in the presentation. But basically, policy folks in and around the Capitol come and just to see what UC students are doing, specifically with their research. In terms of what you can use your research paper or your poster project for after you finish college at Riverside or any of the other UCs. What you could use it for is a starting point for your senior thesis. So I know a lot of the majors require a senior thesis. This is a great starting point for that. If you're thinking about grad school and need to complete the grad school application, most grad programs require a sample paper. And we've been told by our alums that they've used their research papers for their grad school applications in terms of their sample papers. And then last but not least, if you're looking for a research position, so let's say you don't want to go to grad school, but you want to work and do research, students have used their poster projects and their research papers as part of their job portfolio too as well. So as you can see, it's really in depth in terms of research, and you basically get those skills and grow within the quarter in terms of your research projects. So we wanted to show you how it looked like in person. So typically, if it's in person, if we end up going back, you would print out your poster board and present it to folks. You can see students here are excited about their posters, and they're talking to folks about what they've done. And so this is how it would look like in person. And then virtually, students have been presenting this way too on their basically virtually, but basically they have time frames in which time slots in which they will present, and then folks join and watch them present on their projects, and then they even have a Q&A afterwards. So this is how it looks via Zoom, and then how it also looks in person.
Thank you, Kat. So we're going to go ahead and transition to the other component of our program, which is what we call our extended curriculum, but it's really our professional development curriculum. As I mentioned earlier, we do want you to grow professionally during your time with your internship at UCCS. And so this curriculum really is designed to help you enhance or build your professional skills and network, or enhance those professional skills you have already started building. It occurs every other Friday during summer, and you would expect to participate as part of our overall undergraduate curriculum at UCCS. So we've listed some examples of activities and workshops we've provided to our students. And so the first one being that since we encourage students to network, what better way to start networking than with UCCS alums. And these are not just alums that have recently completed the programs. These are actually alums that have graduated from their respective UC campus, and now they're young professionals working in and around the state capital area. And so they will come to their center. So we didn't mention that our center currently is in downtown Sacramento, right across the street from the state capitol building. And so we do have really prime location, and all of our alums do come and have lunch with our students when the program was an in-person program, or meet with our students virtually and connect with them. Our alums are very eager to meet with student participants, and they want to learn more about what it is that you're interested in doing so that they can serve as a mentor or a resource to you all. Then we do invite our alums to come back to do a networking presentation, just because sometimes some students have not started the networking piece in their undergraduate career. And so they do come out to talk about, how to network, where to start networking, how to kind of build your elevator speech, and how to present yourself, or how to network on different platforms like LinkedIn. So that's a really great presentation they come out to do. And there have been times when we have grad students that will work with our students and our current students in our cohort to do writing workshops, since a part of your classes do require that you submit papers. We do have graduate students that come out to do the writing workshops. And if you're not interested in working after you graduate and you're looking into professional school, law school, or graduate school, we do have an advisor that will come out to kind of demystify that whole process of what graduate school is and what law school is, and how to apply and how to prepare, and how to kind of put your best foot forward in terms of being a strong applicant. The Capital Fellows Program is a program through Sacramento State. It is more of a graduate level fellowship program. And we do invite them to come to speak with our students because it's a very great program. It's very prestigious and very competitive. And it's a program where if selected, students are placed in the Capitol. So for those who are very interested in policy or policy making and want to work in the legislature, this is a great program. So we do have folks from that program come out to speak with our students. Then, of course, if you're not going to graduate school or law school or professional school after you graduate, you may be looking for a state job, or you may be looking to start your career in terms of joining the workforce. And so we do have some folks come out to kind of talk about how to get a state job or how to get a public sector job. It's really good and neat information based on their experiences, what they've gone through to obtain their state jobs. And then lastly but not least, you will meet with our UCCS Governance Fellow. And so our Governance Fellow is someone who has recently termed out of office, who then serves as a fellow for UCCS, so as a resource for our staff, our faculty, and our students. So our students will get to meet with this person every quarter. And so we usually alternate between a Democrat and a Republican. So last year in 2019, our Governance Fellow was the Anthony Canella, and I believe he was a Republican from representing, I forget which district, but he represented the Central Valley District. And then this year for 2020, our Governance Fellow is the Honorable Fran Pavley. She is a Democrat, and she represents Southern California District, and so she is meeting with our students on a quarterly basis and a semesterly basis. And so as you can see, a lot of activities and workshops again, enhance or build your professional skills and network for the future. And we find that that's a very important component of our program.
Thanks, Sula. So now we'll talk about our second component, which is our knowledge sharing curriculum component. And so we call our knowledge sharing curriculum our Wednesday Speaker Series, and it's designed to bridge the gap between UC research and state policymakers. One thing with UCCS, it's part of our mission, is that we want to make sure that our research is implemented in state policy, and we want folks to see how they both connect in terms of like California policy. And so what we do is we typically invite a UC professor, and they come every Wednesday to speak about their policy research. And so this part of the program is tied to the UCCS course curriculum. So if it was in person for the first hour, it's typically from 11 to 12, students have one-on-one time with the faculty, and that's where the faculty can answer questions and connect with students. And then the second hour, the faculty or the UC professor will speak with the policy community. And in person, we've had about 200 to 250 people come to our center just to hear what the research is from the UC professor. And then virtually, it's been more. So that's typically how it works with our Wednesday Speaker Series. And in terms of the research component, they're hot topics. So like things that are really going on in California that professors are doing their research on. So we have some examples of this quarter's topics, from health policy to the tobacco epidemic, to vegetation in California, to drug and suicide deaths, to the wildfires. So these are things that are currently going on in California, and these UC professors are researching about them. And it's great because we definitely get to see how our UC professors, specifically their research, how it's being implemented in state policy as well. So this is something that is a really important part of our program. So now we will be talking about our UCCS-UCEAP partnership. So for those of you who do not know what UCEAP is, it's like your study abroad office on your campus. And so we have a partnership with them, specifically at the National Autonomous University of Mexico, which is the short form of it is UNAM. So basically, it's a two-part program where in the fall quarter, you would actually attend UNAM and take classes primarily focusing on Mexican policy and how it even impacts California policy. One thing to note is that all these courses that you take in Mexico are all in Spanish. And so if you do this program, you have to be fluent in Spanish, and you have to pass and take a 4-week intensive language program prior to going. So because we wanted to make sure that you can actually understand what's being taught in the classes. So that's typically fall quarter. And then in winter quarter or spring semester, you would be attending UCCS and be doing the UCCS program. And so if you have any more information, you can definitely talk to your study abroad UCEAP office on campus. And yeah, or if you have any questions, you can email us too, and then we'll also let you know who your campus representatives are for your various campuses. So now we have internships. That's the other component of our program. And so as you can see, we have various areas in which we have internships in. And so these are the most popular ones that we have that students are really interested in terms of internships. So I'll just read them off to you. We have the executive branch, the legislative branch. We have internships in business, education, the environment, health policy, law, the local government, political reform, international affairs, nonprofits, immigration, communication, and state agencies. And so Sue will delve more into how we do our internship process, but we wanted to give you an idea of where we've placed students. As you can see, even around the slide, you can see various different areas where we've placed students, from the Department of Education to the Office of Controller here in California, the State Assembly. We have Cal Chamber, Western Center. So these are just some places where we've placed students for our program for internships.
And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the internship referral process I mentioned early on in the presentation. It's a 5-step process, and it starts after you're admitted into the program. So once you're admitted into the program, you actually have a very thorough discussion with our associate director, Cindy Simmons, and that conversation, she already has your application, so she already has basic information about who you are, what you're studying, and what campus you're from, and all that good stuff. But really her conversation with you is really to learn more about your interests and your professional goals, and that kind of forms the basis of where she refers you. So after you meet with the associate director, she'll refer you back to either Kat or me. And then we do a lot of mock interviews and give you feedback on your resume and your writing, just to get you prepared to start interviewing with whoever Cindy, the associate director, refers you to. And so then after you meet with either Kat or myself, and you're all set to go, Cindy will send you your referral. So you would be expected to reach out to your referral. You'll just draft up a very professional email introducing yourself and letting them know that you're reaching out to schedule an interview for an internship position with their office, and you'll attach your resume. And then you interview. So that's step 4, where you schedule your interview and you interview. And then after you interview, a lot of our students do get offered a position after their interview, so be prepared to accept your offer. Some students will interview and then they hear back from the internship host that's interviewing them later on about a position. And so once you're offered a position, great, you are ready to start your internship at the start of the program. And so we do recommend that we do require that students start their internship once the program starts. And so we want to make sure that this referral process goes on early in the after admissions, so that you secure your internship and you're ready to start when the program starts. For whatever reason, if you were not extended an offer, don't worry. So you'll go ahead and meet with Cindy, and she will continue to refer you until you are placed. So students should know where they are going to intern before the program starts, so they can start interning once the program starts. So that's our kind of our 5-step process with the internship placement process. And so we've talked a lot about our curriculum, our undergraduate curriculum at UCCS. And so we talked about the courses, the internships themselves, the professional development, and what we call our knowledge sharing curriculum, which is our Wednesday speaker series. So we're going to go ahead and kind of switch gears and talk about some logistics of the program. And so first and foremost, the costs associated with the program and financial aid. And so for students who are not UC Davis students, so if you're from any other UC campus but UC Davis, you will become a UC Davis student. And so although we are a UC-wide program, we are administratively operated by UC Davis, since that is the closest UC campus to us. And so you will become a UC Davis student for that quarter or semester of participation. UC Davis will be responsible for billing you your UC tuition. So the UC tuition that you normally see on your billing account, UC Davis will bill you for that. And so tuition is comparable to what you pay at your home campus. And then students who are financial aid recipients, you will continue to remain eligible for financial aid during the fall, winter, and spring terms. And then of course, financial aid is just generally limited during the summer term, as it is with any program. And so it doesn't cover the cost at the same level. However, you will still be considered for financial aid. And so what we normally ask students to do is to update their FAFSA or their DREAM Act application to include UC Davis, so that that information can be sent to UC Davis in time for UC Davis to kind of determine what you're eligible for and package you for financial aid. And then your financial aid will disperse onto your UC Davis account, where it will go in and pay your tuition and your fees. And then if you have any leftover financial aid, you will continue to get that financial aid refund just like you do on your home campus. And so as you can see, nothing really changes except for that UC Davis will be responsible for doing all of that for you on your behalf during your time with UCCS. And so if you're used to getting, the Cal Grant or the Pell Grant or university grants, that will continue to be the case. If you are eligible for student loans, you will continue to get offered student loans. And so if you have any questions about the costs associated with the program or the financial aid piece, do let us know. UCCS Housing. So we also have housing for our UCCS students. It is limited housing. We only have a limited number of units within this building. So this building is a very new building. We entered into a private-public partnership with a developer in downtown Sacramento, and we occupy, I think UCCS students, we sublease the 4th floor of this building here. So it's a brand new building. It just opened, I think, last fall, and so last fall was the very was our fall students from 2019 were the very first students to live in our new UCCS housing. It's called 19J Midtown Lofts. It's in Sacramento. It's about 6 blocks, I think, from UC Center Sacramento, our center in Sacramento, which is very close to the state capitol building. The units are furnished. They look like modern dorm rooms, and so the units are furnished with appliances. So there's like 2 extra large twin size beds. There's dressers, and there's a desk with a chair. There's a little kitchenette actually in each unit. And so the kitchenette is, there are appliances. So there's like a stovetop, an oven, a microwave, a kitchen sink, and I believe a dishwasher. And then there is a full-size bathroom, so the shower tub combo and a sink and a toilet. And typically rooms are shared with another UCCS student, but currently, even though our program is running remotely and virtually, we still have housing available for students. If students feel like they are displaced, or they can't live in the residence halls, or they're not able to live at home with their parents, we do still offer UCCS housing in our remote platform. And so right now we are offering our rooms with single occupancy instead of double occupancy, just to align with social distancing guidelines. And so our housing is available on a first come, first serve basis, depending on when you submit your application. And so when you submit your application, it is date and time stamped. And so we do offer housing on that, based on that. And so the cost, we've listed the cost there. And so for a quarter, it is a flat rate of $2,900. And for the semester, it is a flat rate of $3,700. Unfortunately, there is no parking whatsoever at 19J Lofts. So if you would like UCCS housing, we do not recommend that you bring your car. There are plenty of retail shops and around 19J Lofts, and you can also use public transportation. And like I mentioned earlier, it is a walking distance to the center. So when this program will become an in-person program in the future, you can always walk to the center and walk to your internship.
So now we're going to talk about why UCCS, but more so why experiential learning with UCCS. So like Sua and I mentioned earlier, we have that personalized internship referral process. What's great is that you're not on your own finding your internship. We actually refer you to an internship based on the conversation you have with our associate director. So it's a great way to find a really good internship. You explore career and professional interest. This is typically especially when I tell students, this is a time where you get to explore and really figure out what you want to do. And this program allows you to do that. Sometimes students think that they want to go into one thing and realize they wanted to go into something completely different because they did this program, and are thankful that they did this program because it opened their eyes. Other situations, students do end up in places where they've been, where they want to intern and really love it and realize they want to stay in that field. So this is a time to really kind of figure out what you really want to do after college with your career and your professional life. And so this is a great program to do that. You definitely gain that hands-on work experience and research skills. So like we mentioned earlier, specifically with the research piece, you literally learn how to create a research project, a research paper, and even learn how to do a presentation and present it to people. So that's one great part of the program. In terms of hands-on work, so we do vet all our internships. And so you're not typically doing like the typical internship work where it's like you're grabbing coffee or you're filing papers. All our internships want you to learn. So you will be either shadowing or doing a project or projects with your internship host sites that will help you learn about the field. And so that's one great part of the program too. You will also do grunt work, like answer emails. Even Sue and I, we answer emails all the time. That's our grunt work. You'll probably do that too, but you'll definitely get the hands-on work experience as well. In terms of your resume, you definitely will build your resume and make it more marketable after you do the program. And like Sue mentioned, even before, we do the mock interview and resume review with you all. And so just to make sure that your resume is up to par. And so that's one great thing about the program too as well. You also develop a professional network. And so what's great about this is that you're not only developing that professional network with your cohort mates and with UCCS, but with your internship host sites, because that's a network in itself, and they are connected to so many different people too as well. We've had instances where I mentioned earlier, where students feel like they don't want to go into to a specific field after they do their internship, and somewhere in their internship host site knows maybe somebody that's in another area that student's interested in, and they refer them to the student to that other person, and they create a connection, and we've seen students do really amazing things because of that connection. So you definitely develop that professional network. Sacramento, specifically, the policy community is very tight-knit and very small, and everyone knows everyone, and it's really actually hard to get into. And because if you do this program, you already have your foot in the door in terms of the policy community in SAC. And then last but not least, this is a stepping stone for grad school or a career. So if you're thinking about grad school, this is a great program to do it. I went to grad school and I was doing research and doing a thesis, and I was working multiple internships at one point, and taking classes too. And so I think this program, I usually call it mini grad school, because you'll really get that experience of what grad school will possibly look like. And not only that, even before, you already have a sample paper for your research paper for the application. So that's something to note too in terms of why experiential learning with UCCS, and then even a career. Like I mentioned about kind of figuring out what you want to do after you graduate. This is a great way to explore careers. This is a good starting point for your own career as well. So this is why we think this would be a great program for you all. And so now we'll talk about the eligibility requirements and how to apply. So in terms of eligibility, you have to be an undergraduate student to do the program, specifically junior or senior standing. If you're a sophomore, you need 2 upper division courses with B or better to be eligible for the program. If you are a transfer student, you are eligible for the program, but you must have completed 1 quarter or semester at your respective UC, because you need a UC GPA to do the program. In terms of GPA, we do require that students have a 3.0 GPA or above, but I know sometimes students struggle, especially their freshman, sophomore year, or maybe there was extenuating circumstances where your GPA may not be at a 3.0 just yet. And if it's not, still apply, that's okay, because we look at the application holistically. So it's not just your GPA, but everything else too. DACA, AB 540 undocumented and international students are eligible to apply, as well as first gen and re-entry students. We encourage you to apply to this program. In terms of the application, so we now have a new online application, which is exciting. And we'll show you the link in the next slide. And so we also have the PDF version, but we strongly recommend, or we ask that you use the online application. So in the application, we require 3 references, one of which is an academic reference. And so when we say academic, we mean either a faculty or professor or a TA, anyone that can basically speak on your academics and on your coursework. And then the other 2 can be either professional or personal too as well. We do require a resume as part of the application. You'll upload that. And then we do require transcripts. Unofficial are okay, so they do not need to be official. Unofficial transcripts are fine. And then there's a short personal essay of about 350 words. And so that is basically the application in itself.
As Kat mentioned, we have our new online UCCS application that we're really excited. We just launched it this spring. And so it is at apply.uccs.uodavis.edu. And so when you go to that link, this is the landing page, so the main landing page of our online application system. And so students will log in where that arrow points to the CalNet ID login. Students will log in there. And we've actually worked with every campus so that students will authenticate into our application system using their campus credentials. And so whatever campus you're from, you would use your username and your password from your home campus to log into our online application system. And so once you log in, you will be able to select from one of the open applications. So right now we are recruiting for spring 2021 and summer 2021. And Kat will go over more information about those deadline dates. But just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like when you log into an online application, we do recommend that students just log in, create an account, log in just to look at it. Even if you don't plan on applying anytime soon, that's okay. This just give you an idea of what our online application looks like, what you're expected to submit and provide us. It's a pretty straightforward application, but once you start your application, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let us know.
So we have additional resources, and these are our additional resources. We have, each campus has a campus rep, and they provide program information, and then they also do the first round of review of applications before it gets sent over to the center. And so to find your campus rep, you would just go on our website, UCCS.ucdavis.edu, and then you'll click for undergraduate students and then your campus, and it lists all the 9 campuses, and then you click it, and then there's information about your campus rep, or reps, because some campuses have 2 reps. So that's, if you have any questions about, especially with your campus, if it had before, this is definitely a great resource to connect with. So these are our deadlines. So our upcoming deadlines for spring 2021 is November 5th. So that's next week. It's coming up pretty soon. And then summer 2021, our deadline is December 3rd. As of right now, we will announce our next year, so 2021-2022 application deadlines. We'll announce it soon, but be on the lookout. It's on our website. If you have any questions, please email uccsadvisors@ucdavis.edu. Myself or Sua and the third advisor receive these emails, and we'll be able to answer any of the other questions, either about the application or just anything else about the program as well.
So that pretty much concludes our presentation. So thank you so much for your time and for joining us. And so as Kat mentioned, for more information, please visit our website. To apply, please go to apply.uccs.uodavis.edu. Please check out our social media platforms. I always say, Kat and I can rant and rave about how amazing this program is, but really students get the best perspective from their peers and from other students who have already gone through the program. And so on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, we usually post something called Student Spotlight. And so we spotlight all of our students in the program. And so you can kind of read up about, the types of students that come through the program, what their major is, where they're currently interning, and what they're currently doing in their internship or where they're interning, just to give you an idea and some perspective about the program from a student standpoint. And so with that, I think we're gonna go to Q&A, unless Sharon, you have anything you'd like to add to the presentation.
I do not. There are some questions coming through in the chat box.
Okay. So Kat, do you want to start reading them off?
Yeah, I can definitely do that. So the first question is, can a graduate student participate in the UCCS program? Is there any additional information that an undocumented student should know regarding participating?
Currently, our undergraduate program is only open to undergrad students. We do actually have some grad opportunities, but they have to be current UC grad students. And so there are some fellowship opportunities and students who are in the STEM field opportunities, or students who may be interested in research. And so we can provide that link for those who may be interested in our graduate opportunities. But currently the program in itself is mainly an undergraduate program. In terms of undocumented students, I don't think there's any additional information that undocumented students should know other than what we've presented to our normal student population. Kat, did you have anything to add?
Yeah, no, as long as you're a UC student, regardless of status or whatnot, you are eligible for the program. So yeah, so that's basically it. So the next question is, do students need to add the Davis school code to their FAFSA? Oh, good question. Before March 2nd deadline to remain eligible for UC grant?
No, so you just have to submit your FAFSA by March 2nd. In terms of adding a school, you can always add a school at a later date. And so adding UC Davis after March 2nd doesn't take away the date that you submitted your application. And so you should be able to remain eligible for your UC grants.
Great, thank you. And so this looks like our last question. Will the environmental topic specific course be offered to students in future quarters?
Great question, Jessica. I'm actually not sure. So this is our first quarter where we will be offering the environmental policy course. So we're hoping that we will be able to offer it in the future, but at this time we don't know for sure.
And I think that's it.
If there are no more questions, I'm going to put up the last poll. Because this is being recorded, you want to check with your campus study abroad office where the recording will be posted for your future reference to go back and look at the recording. And so I definitely want to thank Catherine and Sua for joining us today and giving us information about the UC Center Sacramento program.
Thank you, LaSharon, for coordinating and facilitating.
And with that, I'm going to stop the recording.